Now to the relentless rain drenching the East Coast. At least a dozen rivers are at or near flood stage, from the Carolinas all the way up to Maine, in what has been the wettest March on record in some areas of the Northeast. CBS News correspondent Elaine Quijano is in POMPTON Plains, New Jersey this morning with the latest from there. Elaine, good morning.
Good morning to you, Jeff. We'll take a look. This is the kind of flooding that they are already seeing in pockets all throughout the Northeast region. The rain in just the last hour has really started to intensify. They're expecting in this area to see at least 2 to 4 more inches before this is all over. Residents, as you can imagine, are bracing for more flooding. In New Jersey, residents in communities like this one are still struggling to bail out flooded homes from a nor'easter 2 weeks ago that dumped as much as 10 inches of rain.
My house is gutted already. All the sheetrock is out.
From Maine to Virginia, flood warnings and advisories have been posted as forecasts call for as much as 5 to 7 inches of rain over the next 2 days.
The ground is saturated from the mid-Atlantic all the way up to the Northeast, not only because of the rain that we've had, but because of all the snow that has melted.
In Long Island, New York last night, sirens sounded in beach communities, warning residents of potential flooding. Some people were already seeking higher ground. In Rhode Island last night, the mayor of Cranston ordered a mandatory evacuation of one neighborhood over fears that a closed bridge could potentially trap residents.
I'd rather be safe than sorry, because it might be a different story if there was another way out over the bridge, but we don't have that. People could potentially be trapped.
Officials also warned of a possible life-threatening situation along the Patuxent River, which has already reached flood stage and is still rising. The area has been flooded twice already this year. Some residents say they've had enough.
The solution is to take these houses, buy them up, and let the river have this whole stretch of land, because we don't own this property. The river owns this property.
Meanwhile, in neighboring Massachusetts, the governor has declared a state of emergency and mobilized the National Guard to help prepare for major flooding. Now, the rainiest March on record in Boston was back in 1953. That's when 11 inches fell in that month. To give you some perspective, nearly 10 inches of rain had already fallen before the start of this latest storm. New York City, by the way, about 3 inches away from its March record of 10.5 inches for the month. That was set, Jeff, back in 1983. Jeff.
Wow. All right. Elaine Quijano live this morning in New Jersey. Elaine, thank you very much.
A lot happens early on The Early Show, weekday mornings on CBS.